Well, boys, it's a sad day, yet a joyous day at the same time, I hope. As the saying goes, when one door closes, another door opens. Well, today the door that's closing is we're actually getting rid of the Two Brothers Racing exhaust after almost 2 years with it. Now, this might come as a shock to lots of you because you know that in my time with this exhaust, I've done nothing but sing its praises, and don't get me wrong, I love it, but I think I found something way better for my needs in the Coffman's Thunder exhaust. So today we're going to say goodbye to our beloved Two Brothers exhaust, take a look at the Coffman's, and I'll go over all the reasons why I think it's going to be way better for us than this. And then we're going to throw it on and see if I actually made the right decision. Fingers crossed. All right, let's see what we are working with. I've already opened this up, obviously, so I know how awesome it looks, but I'm stoked for you guys to see it. All right, so it came packaged super, super nice. You got the clamp there going over the end to hold all the plastic wrap on, so that's nice. You guys know my luck with getting exhaust shipped to me damaged. And the clamp itself is actually really nice because you'll notice that it's actually black instead of the silver one that comes with the Two Brothers, but we'll get into that later. And then we got the exhaust itself looking so freaking good. Let's get this out of the wrapper. Man, I hope that transition looked as cool as I thought it would, because I was stressing out looking through the camera thinking I'm going to drop that on the ground. But check this thing out, guys. Not only does it look super good, but I actually got it custom engraved with the LifeOfBurch logo. I'm so freaking stoked. Let's get all that out of the way so I can show you the first main difference as to why I picked this exhaust. Is you can see that the Two Brothers exhaust is an upswept design, much like most of the exhausts for these bikes. I think it looks great, but it doesn't really leave a whole lot of room for saddlebags. But if you look at this, once it mounts up, it's going to go straight back, leaving so much more room, and that is the main reason why I decided to swap out to this. So you guys know that I did these Thrash and Supply little bags right here, and it was the first time that anybody, to my knowledge, found saddlebags that work with an upswept exhaust, and I was super pumped. I love the way that they look, I love the functionality, and I love the fact that they worked with the upswept exhaust. However, over time, I found out that it actually doesn't work quite as well as I thought. Over time, because of all the heat coming out of the exhaust, it has started melting this tab right here, and it's curled back a little bit. Not a super big deal, but anytime I'm doing like a longer trip or something like that, it does tend to start coming down since the Velcro's melted there. And this year, Nina and I want to start doing some longer trips together, so bigger saddlebags are definitely in order. And if these are already starting to get a little bit messed up from that exhaust, obviously we couldn't fit bigger ones if we wanted to. Now, I will say though, for anybody considering these bags, don't let the upswept exhaust scare you away from doing it, because they're great. And the only reason that that strap melted is because of my infamous burnout. It was totally fine before that, but after like 5 minutes of a straight burnout just shooting heat at redline on this, that's what caused it to melt. Up until that, for like a year or whatever, it was totally fine. It's just, you know, keeping it at redline, blasting all of the hot air out, melted it. So if you ride normal and you don't do burnouts and you're not an idiot, these bags will work with the upswept exhaust, but unfortunately I kind of messed mine up a little bit. So now, not only will the new exhaust allow for bigger saddlebags, but also if we hold it up, you guys should be able to see, it's going to allow way more room for Nina on the back, so she doesn't have to stress out about her feet potentially hitting the exhaust. I think it's only happened like once or twice with the Two Brothers, and it never really was bad enough to like melt anything on there. I think there's maybe only just like a little mark right there, I think is from her shoe. So it's not a super huge deal. However, she has said that she kind of stresses out about whether or not it's going to happen. So the new exhaust will not only allow for way bigger saddlebags, but also should make her way more comfortable in the back, not having to stress out and worry about whether or not her shoe is going to hit the exhaust. So those are the two biggest reasons as to why I picked this exhaust over the Two Brothers. Just the fact that we can put way bigger saddlebags on there, and it'll give Nina way more comfort and room on longer trips. But I'd be remiss if I said that it wasn't also because this thing should be super high quality, and I think it actually looks way better than this. So let's check it out. All right, so let's start out with the backstory of this exhaust and kind of how I came to know it. If you guys know anything about the exhaust comparison video that I did of all the Rebel 1100 exhausts, you'll know that the Coffman's exhaust was actually one of my least favorite, but a lot of things changed for me between that video and now. So when I did that comparison, the thing that I liked the least about the Coffman's exhaust is how quiet it was. But at the time, I didn't realize that the baffle was actually removable super easily, and that Quasi-Motard actually had his baffle in there. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that if we take the baffle out of this, it'll be nice and loud and roar the same way that the Two Brothers does, because I like a loud bike. The other thing is that at that time, all of them had like this riveted nameplate on it, and I was not a fan of that. I like my bike nice and clean. I didn't want some big red thing on there. But Wyatt Coffman, the owner of Coffman's, actually reached out to me at the time and was like, hey, we just redesigned the Thunder. We took the nameplate off. If you don't want it, we can do it just laser engraved. And also after feedback, we improved the baffling and packing of it and improved just a bunch of stuff based off of just consumer feedback. And I was like, all right, that sounds awesome, but I have my two brothers and I really like it, so I don't know. And they're like, listen, there's no strings attached. We're not saying that you need to keep it on there. We'll send you one, just give us an honest review. You don't need to keep it on, just let us know what you think. And I was still like, nah, because I love my two brothers so much, you know. But then I started thinking about it over winter, and I'm like, you know, if I'm gonna do longer trips, we do need bigger saddlebags. And I started thinking, and I reread the messages about all just the quality control they had done, all the upgrades, and I was like, you know what, let's do it. So I reached out and I was like, you know what, if you guys want to send me one, I would love to take it. I really want to try it out. Honestly, I would have paid for it either way. Don't tell them that. And not just that, but I love the fact that they are legitimately like a mom and pop shop small business. Like I said, I was talking to Wyatt Coffman himself, and you just don't get that with other companies. And not only that, but he was like, hey, we can engrave your logo on there, and that looks so freaking good, dude. So I don't know if this is something that they would do for you if you wanted something engraved on there, or if you want to reach out and be like, hey, can I get the Life of Birch special? But it looks so freaking good, dude. And the welds are super high quality. I'll show it closer once we put it on the bike, but I mean, this thing is top notch. The welds are nice and smooth. The coating on there is incredible. And then you can see right down in there, hopefully you can see, that's where the baffle lives, and it just has a little circ clip to pop it out. Now, not only is this thing super high quality, and like I said, you get to talk directly to the owner of the company, but their customer service is unmatched. Because I gotta be honest, I did experience a small hiccup, and they handled it right away. When I first got it, the engraving was a bit high up for my liking, and I was like, guys, I hate to be that guy. I know it's custom engraved for me, but I'm not a huge fan of it. And Wyatt goes, no issue, and literally sent me computer renderings of where the logo would be until I was happy with it. And within 2 days of me reaching out to him, the new exhaust was already on my doorstep. Never seen customer service like that ever. Now, speaking of the other exhaust where I wasn't super happy with the logo placement, they actually let me hold on to it for a little while so that I could use it for this video. So I decided to go ahead and take the baffle out of it so I could show you guys better what it looks like with it out. Now, this exhaust actually has 3 different ways that you can baffle it in order to kind of get the exact volume that you want. However, I'm only going to show you 2 of them because the third one you got to drill out the rivets. So this is the main baffle right here that goes into the end of the exhaust, and all it is this little C-clip right there that you pop out and the whole baffle comes out. So nice and easy. All you got to do is the C-clip, whereas with the Two Brothers exhaust, there's 4 bolts there, and then there's 1 or 2 inside. However, even though it's easy, it is a little bit sketchy because you got to stick your pliers right down in the end there, and I did scratch it a little bit. And then afterwards, I read that you're supposed to put some masking tape there to prevent that from happening, but I guess I was too excited and didn't read the instructions. So on the plus side, it's really easy to take out. On the downside, it's a little bit sketchier because there's more risk of scratching it than with something like that. But overall, I'll take the ease of it all day. So those are the 2 main ways that you can do it, is just with the baffle or without. But then this baffle also has these rivets right here that you can drill out, and it removes this whole like spark arrestor sleeve or whatever it's called right there. And then all you would have is that collar in there, kind of limiting airflow and making it like a middle ground between the super quiet and super loud. So first things first, I'm actually going to test it out just like this with the baffle all the way out and see how loud that is. And then we'll swap to the one with the baffle in and see if I like that. But I have a feeling that I'll be taking the baffle out and just running it as is. All right, so without further ado, let's throw this thing on and get some sound clips, take it for a ride. And to take it off, it's super easy. We just gotta get an Allen key down there, a nut back there, and then reverse the process to get the new one on. Good God, that thing looks so freaking good. I can already tell I'm gonna be so happy with this. Not only is there obviously so much more room for saddlebags, and you can tell that there's just like no way that Nina's foot will ever hit this, but look at how much it shows off the stiletto shock, dude. Before you could barely see the red, but that is looking so freaking good. Oh my gosh. Like I said, install was super easy. I didn't even struggle getting the old exhaust off. Come on, you piece of shit. Just kidding, that was a pain in the ass. But literally within 10 minutes we got this thing on and it's looking so good. You can see how it like hugs nice and tight to the bike too, whereas the Two Brothers stuck out a whole lot more. And then if you look at it from this side, it's nice and straight back, dude. Oh my God, this thing looks sick. Also, I gotta say that now I kind of understand why that logo was where it is, because even though it is a bit high up, when you're standing looking at the bike, it's right at eye level. So it honestly looks way better than I thought it would. However, the one that I got designed has it like right in the middle there, so I'm stoked to see that. But enough yapping. I know what you guys want and I know what I want, and that's a cold start. Please sound good. Oh my God, dude, that sounds so good. I was honestly concerned that I wasn't gonna like the way that it sounds because I like the TBR so much, but this is like perfect. It's like slightly less bassy, a little bit more raspy, still has like the pops and crackles to it, but oh my God, yeah. I can already tell you right now I'm running it without a baffle. We'll still test it out with the baffle, but that is what I want. That's so much better than I expected, dude. That sounds so good. Now let's see what it sounds like on a ride. All right, moment of truth. Oh my gosh, yes, that guy already turned around because he's like, what is that? That sounds good. It's like a slightly quieter, slightly more refined Two Brothers exhaust. Ooh, that sounds so freaking good. Okay, now for the true test, the flyby. Wait for these cars so that we have some space. And 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds so good. The only way, I know I'm beating a dead horse saying this over and over, but the only way that I can describe it is that it is a more refined Two Brothers and slightly quieter in the process. Ooh, with a little pop. Ooh, did you hear that pop, dude? Oh my gosh, the longer I ride this, the better it sounds. Okay, back from being a criminal. Let's let this thing cool off, throw on the other exhaust with the relocated logo, but more importantly, the baffle in, get a cold start on it, and then a flyby and see which one we prefer.
2 hours later.
All right, here's the new and improved one, and I know I didn't mind the logo before, but damn, this is in the perfect spot. So essentially, instead of having it so high up, I had him do the center line right here, right in line with the exhaust system part of the logo. That way it looked more centered, but when you're standing up, you can still kind of see it going like with the body line. This looks so good. Thank you so much, Wyatt, for redoing this for me. This logo is in the perfect position. And then now that this one's on, I can show kind of all the high quality welds I was talking about. I don't think I ever showed them up close, but these welds are freaking perfection, looking so smooth and buttery. It just looks so freaking good with like the slash cut tip. Oh my Lanta. And then that's what it looks like with the baffle in place. All right, time for more of a warm start, but we'll see how it sounds in comparison and how much more reserved it sounds. Not bad, actually. Let's see what we're working with here. Wow. All right, yeah, I gotta be honest. I like it with the baffle in a lot more than I thought I would. I'm definitely gonna run it without a baffle because I like the volume of not having a baffle in there, but even with the baffle, the sound is really nice. Like, it's the same sound, just subdued, you know? I feel like sometimes you put a silencer in and it gets like way too raspy or way too high pitched. This is perfect. Like, this is, I would say, slightly louder than the Vance & Hines 1100T exhaust that I just tested out. All right, now let's get some flyby action. So same deal, let it wind out in second and then give it some juice. think I went a little bit faster on that one. I didn't realize how fast I was going because it's so much quieter, but it still sounds really good. Like if you want an exhaust that sounds incredible, but it's not super loud, it's not gonna blow your eardrums out, but it still has some nice tone to it and it'll like still bark a little, you know, then I would say Coffman's with the baffle in all day. But as you know, I am a loud boy myself, so as good as this sounds, I just can't get over how this sounds without the baffle. So for sure we're taking the baffle out of this thing. Let's head back home and I'll show you the tool that I have to take the baffle out. And then I think Nina just got home, so we'll see if we can get her to sit on the back to show you how much room there is for a passenger, and then we'll end things. Done being a criminal again? Alright, so regarding the tool that I was talking about for taking the baffle out, let me show you what I came up with. Where is it? Right here. So you need some circlip pliers, but I was too afraid of scratching the inside of the tip, so I literally put a rubber glove around it and then some electrical tape so that when you go to take it out, nothing can hit and scratch anything. And then I'm still gonna go ahead and put some of this inside the tip to kind of add like an extra layer of protection. So the baffle is for sure coming out. I'll use this when I do it, but that's for another day once it cools down a bit. Oh, there she is. Hello. I want to see how it looks with you sitting on the bike. Check that out. You can see that her foot is nowhere near the exhaust. So even though it only hit the two brothers like once or twice, maybe, I feel like it was still kind of a concern for you if it happened.
I always pick my feet up like
yeah.
Not that extreme, but I pick my toes up a little bit too.
Yeah. But yeah, you're nowhere near it now.
I know.
That looks so freaking good. All right, thanks. I'll be down to grab you soon so that we can take your bike out. Everybody subscribe to Komodo Vlogs. She's learning how to ride on the 300, and we're going to take it out right now. Okay, see ya. So there you have it. I lied. The Two Brothers exhaust is not the best exhaust for this bike. Coffman's by far is. If you're looking for something subdued that still sounds super good and refined, just go ahead and leave the baffle in. But if you want something that sounds a bit on the gnarly side, definitely louder, but still has that nice refinement to it, go ahead and rock it without the baffle the same way that I'm going to do. Shout out to the Patreon members for making all of this possible. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have any questions that I did not cover, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you guys. Peace.
Oh, so basic. Hope you play this. Damn, I prayed it. Nice song, and I became this. Oh, souls fake it. Paid those placements. Fuck shit. And I'm still waiting on the brighter days. Been a minute, been rough many times more. And I'm kicking rocks to a sky of gray. Praying hard, talk to me before I'm done for.